question, and then I'll hand it over to Q&A to the floor. Bear with me if you would mind, because this is kind of complicated. So recently, taxpayers in our community have been charged stormwater charges by HRM, Halifax Water. Until HRM took over the maintenance of the ditches, the province took care of them, and a portion of our provincial taxes went to the province for providing that service. As there is such a lack of transparency by the provincial government, it's impossible for us to know just what percentage of our taxes were allocated to that particular service. What we do know, though, is that since HRM has started providing the service and charging us for it, there has been zero reduction of the provincial taxes that we're paying. So therefore, we can presume that as taxpayers, we're still paying the province for a service that HRM is now providing and charging us for, continues to charge us for. So what will you or your party do to ensure that taxpayers are not continuing to be charged provincial taxes for a service they no longer receive from the province? So we'll go over to Anthony.
Thank you. This is a fantastic question because it really deals with that sort of border between, what is the province responsible for, what is the municipality responsible for, and often in Nova Scotia it can be a very blurry line, and I think that's something that we sort of need to address collectively. And it gets even worse than that because there's also a continual effort by the Department of Transportation, by the province, to push the municipality on which roads each of them is responsible for. The province is continually trying to push currently provincially maintained roads into municipal jurisdictions. The municipality has to plow the snow, has to pave them, has to be responsible for the ditches, all these sorts of things. There's really not much oversight or accountability on this. You don't really hear about it. From time to time, you'll hear city councillors sort of complain about it, but it's not something that I think comes up often enough provincially. It's something that we should really hold them to account on more and have more oversight on, because the way that they decide it now is sort of arbitrary and whimsical. Really, there needs to be, I think, a sort of a new deal, maybe a new charter even, I don't know, a new deal between the province and the municipality to really clarify the breakdown of responsibilities and all these things on which roads they're responsible for, on who's responsible for maintaining the ditches, and what the sort of, how that actually, gets covered by the taxpayers. Is that something that should be on a separate line item on our taxes? Is it something that should be through Halifax Water? Should it be provincially? I don't think it really makes sense the way that we do it now, because there's not much accountability behind it. I'm sure many of us have appealed those, and that's an opaque monster. It's just a really sort of bureaucratic thing that really should be simple. We don't have a separate line item on our taxes for paving roads. We don't have a separate line item on our taxes for streetlights or these sorts of things. Why do we have a separate line item for that? It doesn't make any sense. It really needs to be clear who's responsible for what. It really needs to have a clear set of criteria, where the province is responsible, where the county is responsible, and then they need to work those things out in their budgets without nickel and diming us by tacking on new fees every time some new thing comes up that they think they can break out into a separate line item. Thank you.
Being that I live in East Preston, the ditch tax is really upsetting. It's completely unnecessary for one, and I'm not actually sure what the service actually is. It's for water that runs off the road. That's what they tell you. That has nothing to do with me and my property. And the way I understand it, they own so much of the road anyway, and I'm pretty sure the ditch is within that space, which is space that they own, so why are we paying? I'm pretty sure on top of that, the money that they used to do whatever it was they're doing was given to them. So why are we paying tax on money that they were given? And did they do the work? How many people's ditches look fantastic because the government came through and did what they were supposed to do? So you're paying for a service that hasn't even happened. So that's basically stealing, as far as I'm concerned. In terms of the provincial government, I don't know what the budget is for road cleaning or anything, but if I find out, I'll tell you. And if the province isn't responsible for that anymore, it should be removed from your taxes. And honestly, there should just be a flat tax. There shouldn't be increases in your taxes for services. There shouldn't be any of that. We as a party would implement a flat income tax, which would save people money. And that's the end of the game. I mean, we can't be getting taxed for everything, all the time, over and over and over. If you want to have any financial success, you have to be able to keep some of your money. And you can't have the government in your pocket for 70 cents of every dollar you have. That's what we would change. Also, people who don't have ditches have to pay this tax as well.
When it comes down to the ditch tax, I think it really has to do with a lot of accountability, because one person is saying that they own the ditch tax and there's somebody else saying they own the ditch tax, but regardless, we're getting charged. I know for a fact, because I live about 860 feet off the road. But where my driveway entrance is, when it rains, the water just pulls up there, and it's supposed to be provincial highway. So I called and I asked them, how can they come and put some kind of a drain system in to get this fixed? They said, I need to call Halifax Water. So I called Halifax Water, and Halifax Water looked into it and said they'd get back to me, and they got back to me, and what did they do? They put me back to where I started out. And it's been going on for like almost about three years, and there's no accountability. But yet, we're still paying the tax. Because you have to pay the tax. But accountability. And so, if I am your MLA, I will fight to make sure that you're not paying a ditch tax, especially those people that don't have a ditch. How many people in here don't have a ditch in front of your yard?
We have them that just go the trees.
You have ditches that are not being cleaned, and you're still getting charged a tax. So accountability. Accountability. Somebody has to be held responsible. And the question was, HRM said that the provincial government passed it on to them. And
well, basically, we're still paying the provincial government for a service we're actually also paying HRM for, because our provincial taxes have not decreased at all since the ditch tax has been taken over from the province to HRM.
Okay, so some people are getting double dipped in taxes. So what's happening is we're getting taxed and we're not getting the service. Basically, that's what it comes down to. We're getting taxed and we're not getting the service. And I know some people don't want to pay the tax, but when you don't pay the tax, then
you're taxed by two people,
yes,
by the province and HRM.
You're getting taxed by the province and you're getting taxed by HRM. And who's doing the work? Nobody's doing the work, but yet they're still taking money from us. So, as your MLA, I will fight to make sure that we're not being taxed for something that we're not getting service for. If you're getting a service, that's a different thing. If you're getting service, they're coming up and you know who's cleaning your ditches, you know who's cleaning your gutters and taking care of your road. There should be a tax because somebody has to get paid for doing it. But you can't have two people charging you and nobody's doing the work and you're still getting taxed. So I don't have an answer for that question right now because I'm not in the house. I'm not your government. I don't know why people are getting taxed. I don't know why no one's doing the work. So that's my answer is I don't have an answer because I don't know.
Thank you. With respect to the ditch tax, we've heard that on the doors of a lot of homes in the riding. The ditch tax. In my community of Cherry Brook, we've been paying that ditch tax for the last number of years. And I know that it's just become now effective, or was implemented in the Preston Lake Echo area just this past year. The municipality is responsible for the ditch tax policy. Now, with regards to the ditch tax, this service was offloaded to the municipality from the Liberal government.